Hey everyone, welcome back to FSi DFS for another week of previews. NHL schedule is a little weird here this week. Tuesday, a day where normally we see 10 to 12 game slates. No games on Tuesday. It's very odd. But I think they're trying to figure out the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US. There will be no games on Thursday either, so obviously no videos on Tuesday or Thursday. But I will be back with another preview video for the Wednesday, pretty decent size. So looking here on Monday though, November 20th, it's a Vancouver versus San Jose slate. Like San Jose, anytime they're on the slate, on the road especially, it's really going to skew some of the ownerships moving forward. So let's just kind of dive right in. Vancouver minus 395. I did see it initially at minus 400. But San Jose, they're not looking as bad as they were to start the season. They've actually won three of their past six games. Sorry, they beat St. Louis, Edmonton, and Philadelphia. So yes, three of their past six games. Vancouver, though, number one offense in the entire league thus far. I think they're averaging 4.2 goals per game, headed by a lot of guys, but they're certainly priced up, so it's going to be difficult to get a really big Vancouver stack. After them and Colorado, honestly, it's pretty even all around the board. We do have an over-under of 7, which is fantastic, just for DFS purposes and fun. Maybe that'll kind of take some of the ownership away from Vancouver. And yeah, so let's look at the projected goalkeepers here. Again, these are just projected at this point in time. I'm going to zoom in so we can see it a little bit better here. Ullmark, Talbot, Demko, Ottinger, 4 best so far on the season. I will still say that Ullmark's the best goalie out of these 4. Ottinger, Demko, they've been good for quite a while here. Edmonton just cannot seem to figure it out defensively. Their goaltenders have not done well at all this season. So Skinner, there's a reason that this Edmonton-Florida game is an over-under of 7. Both teams, they like to play offense and not as much defense. Florida's a little bit better defensively, but still, going to be a lot of goals in that game. And yeah, everybody else is pretty average for the most part. So let's just kind of dive into the line stacks. Couldn't decide, really, and I just noticed the date is wrong here. This is not November 17th. It's going to be November 20th, and there's, 7 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So I didn't know which Vancouver line I wanted to go to. So I did put Boss or Miller. I went Quinn Hughes defense for the correlation here. All 3 of these guys play on the top power play unit. It is going to be pretty tricky to jam all 3 of these guys in and not just absolutely go like scrubs for the rest of your lineup. Just because, like I said, all of Vancouver is priced up pretty high. So Elias Pettersson, top line center there. Or second line center, however you view the lines. I've seen people view the Pettersson line as line 1. I've seen other people view the Miller line as line 1. Just kind of depends. But Pettersson is the other main guy. The reason I didn't go with the Pettersson line here is that so Pettersson skates alongside these 2 guys, Mikheyev and Kuzmenko. Mikheyev, they don't all share the same power play unit. And that's kind of the main thing there. And they don't have as much upside as a guy like Brock Besser does. But still, if you want to go with Pettersson and Mikheyev and Kuzmenko, no issues there. Really, anybody on Vancouver is going to be fine. But Giuseppe, he is the 3rd even strength guy. He's actually the left wing on this Miller Bosser second line, whatever you want to call it. But he doesn't get any power play unit appearances at all, which is kind of going to be a big thing in this game, in my opinion. I already talked about Vancouver's number 1 offense in the entire league, and it's really spearheaded by their power play unit. 3rd best power play unit in the league so far this season. They're going up against San Jose, who have the 3rd worst penalty kill unit this season. So San Jose takes a handful of penalties. They're going to be in for a very long night going on the road at Vancouver. So, like I said, Pettersson, he's also going to be really important, but he is 800 more than Miller. Miller and Pettersson have been pretty even, especially on home ice. Their stats are like nearly identical. So maybe we do want to take that 800 savings. And yeah, so I really can't go wrong with much at Vancouver at all. Another line stack that I'm going to be targeting here is going to be Verhaeghe, Lundell, and Reinhart. Now, make sure that this is actually the line. This is kind of what I'm expecting it to be. So the big news out of Florida is that Barkov, their top line center, he got a knee injury last game, really early in the game as well. And so Lundell was skating with Verhaeghe and Reinhart here. So I think that's probably what it's going to go about. But Barkov's going to be out. Lundell, he did really well in Barkov's absence, kind of like taking over in his role. He had 4 shots, 2 assists in that game. Verhaeghe and Reinhart, they're a staple on these preview videos, I feel. Verhaeghe just has a fantastic shot floor. Reinhart does as well. And then both of them also bring a whole lot of upside. Reinhart giving you the most upside. So other, Florida guys I do have interest in, going to be guys over here. Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, 8K. He's going to be skating on that second line. He's going to be with like Sam Bennett down here. So if you want to go with Tkachuk and Bennett, could totally understand that there. And then Montour, he's finally back. He's going to be skating on that top power play for Florida, 5.2K. Could be really intriguing. Florida doesn't have a great power play, but at the same time, Edmonton doesn't have a great penalty kill. So I didn't put it down in the special teams, notable special teams, because honestly, it was either like it was bad power play versus bad penalty kill, or great power play against great penalty kill. There weren't many like big separations, but these are the 3 that I did, kind of want to point out. So going over to individual plays, we'll start it off with some Colorado here. Colorado, second biggest favorite on the board, going up at Nashville. Over-under of 6 seems really low. I think that should be higher than that. If I was going to be betting this game, I would be betting the over on this 6. Nashville just likes to play that really like up and down style. Colorado kind of the same thing. Colorado's been weak defensively. Offensively, they've been fantastic as of late. And really like they've struggled on the power play unit for Colorado. But like this is one of the best power play units in the league once they can get it together. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is. But I mean, when you're talking about guys like Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Mikko Rantanen, and now you got like Nichushkin on that line as well, like there's no reason that this is a bottom 10 power play unit. So maybe facing off against a, really, really bad national penalty kill can really get them, headed in the right direction. So McKinnon, he's going to be skating on a line with Rantanen on his right, but Nichushkin on his left. Nichushkin gives you a great value play. I think he's going to be a fantastic option here at 5.3 if you are going into the mid-range and going a more balanced route if you do want to go that way. But Nichushkin, 5.3, skating with McKinnon, does great in that role. And Nichushkin also does get top power play unit time with McKinnon and guys like Cale Makar, who has been steamrolling. He's been fantastic as of late. I talked about this Edmonton-Florida game being an over-under of 7. I feel like there's going to be a lot of talk about that through these individual plays. I could go McDavid, but I'm actually going to go with Draisaitl. Draisaitl and McDavid have had same number of shots as of late. They're very even in all their stats, except that Draisaitl is getting on the score sheet just a little bit more. And he's, I can't remember McDavid's price tag, but I want to say he's like $700 or $800 cheaper than McDavid. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of that discount. You could be pairing Draisaitl with a guy like Hyman, who's going to be skating on his line at 6.5K. Draisaitl and Hyman do skate on the same power play unit. The left wing for that line is Evander Kane, but Evander Kane does not skate on the power play unit with Draisaitl and Hyman. He's actually on that second power play unit. Elias Pettersson, already talked about him. O'Reilly, 6K. I normally am not a big O'Reilly fan in DFS, but that's kind of changed this season. I don't know. He seems to be much more offensively inclined or oriented or whatnot. But he's shooting the puck more. He's getting on the score sheet more. And I mentioned that Colorado, they've had some defensive woes here throughout the course of the season. And honestly, over the course of his career, McKinnon, great, puck possession, but 5v5, they actually do struggle quite a bit at times. So I do think that top line of Nashville, with the fast pace that both teams are going to play, I think it could be a really nice GPP only play here. Bennett, already talked about him for Florida. And then Dano, I just like that third line of Los Angeles, especially when they're on the road. So it's Dano, Moore, and Kaliev. I feel like that third line, just always a fantastic, just throw a dart with those three any time that Los Angeles is on the road. Their prices seem to be pretty stagnant. They've all done pretty well as of late, so I do kind of like that there. Tkachuk, talked about him. Forsberg, you compare him with a guy like Roman Josi and Ryan O'Reilly. So like these three guys here, like I said, I think that there's going to be more goals scored in this game than Vegas is expecting with the over-under of 6. I could be completely wrong, though. I hope I'm not, because maybe I'll even make that bet. But O'Reilly, Forsberg's just been fantastic as of late. He's getting a shot bonus every single game, it seems like, at this point in time. He's also flirting with the point bonus oftentimes. He's getting, 1 to 2 points every single game. So I do like Forsberg there at 7.5K, give you a little bit of salary relief from those top guys like Kucherov and Pasternak and all that. Hyman Nichushkin, talked about them. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, talked about him. Nope, I didn't. Nugent-Hopkins, he skates on that top line with Connor McDavid. So if you are going with McDavid, maybe you could go with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins here. He does skate on the top power play unit with McDavid, but he's also on the top power play unit with Hyman Draisaitl as well. And Bouchard, he's the quarterback for that power play on the blue line on defense there. So he is highlighted here in the individual plays. And then Mikheyev, Kuzmenko, if you are going with Elias Pettersson, I would pair him with these guys here. Makar, Yossi, Bouchard, I already talked about all those guys. Devin Taves doing very well. Very cheap, very affordable. And then Larson. I mean, once you get down to 3-5 and below, you're just looking for guys who can get, shot block bonuses. He's a block shot machine, and he can shoot the puck as well. It doesn't get on the score sheet a whole heap ton, but I actually kind of like Seattle just in terms of like a GPP standpoint. Calgary, not the greatest team. So Seattle, I think that they could be, catching my eye in terms of a nice GPP call. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. The only issue with Seattle is that their power play units and even strength lines are just an absolute disaster. They're all over the place. Nobody correlates well with anybody, and that's why they just don't make for a great DFS team. But yeah, so that's kind of the video. That's kind of the preview for Monday night. Again, no videos on Tuesday because there's not any games on Tuesday, but I will be back on Wednesday breaking down that nice slate as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday weekend here in America. So good luck in all of your contests. Thanks for watching once again, and we'll see you on Wednesday.